The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Go Cowboys! This is Media Mash,
A roundtable of Cowboys insiders
dropping wisdom
and offering sizzling takes
on the current state of your Dallas Cowboys.
Now, your host,
Newy Scruggs.
3 o'clock, Thursday, Media Mash. Let's ride. Clarence Hill, Fort Worth Star Telegram. Patrik C. Walker. No C, I should say. No C. Walker.
No C.
No C. Walker of DallasCowboys.com. John Machota anxiously working the phone, putting the tweets out. Dak Prescott spoke. What you got for the people out there today, John?
So before we went to practice, Mike McCarthy said that Dak Prescott would be on a pitch count, and he told us that he wasn't. There were no limitations. Felt good. Before we talked to Dak, talked to CeeDee Lamb, said that Dak made some big throws, and everyone seems to be feeling good. So there's no question. Fuller's starting on Sunday, and it seems like all is well in the locker room.
What are you writing about here, Clarence?
Dak is back. He's checked all the boxes. There's no questions to be asked. The interesting thing is that CeeDee Lamb let a little cat out of the bag, even though he's the one that's trying. Y'all not gonna get me. Y'all not gonna get me. He told us that Dak looked great Saturday. That Dak was tearing up the scout team.
Yes, I was there for that one, yeah.
He was tearing up the
scout
team.
He could have played.
And he could have played on Sunday.
Zeke said he could have played, yeah.
He could have played on Sunday. That's how good he looked, And so, CD said he's been knowing for a couple of weeks that Dak was coming back, so it wasn't like we just found out yesterday. This has kind of been the plan, and Dak is excited. Zeke may be as excited or more excited than Dak, but Dak's ready to go, and it's good for this team. Cooper Rush did his job, but it's time for QB1 to be back out there for this offense to reach its optimal efficiency.
Speaking of Cooper Rush, you decided that Cooper needed a
Give him some flowers.
did.
You gave him some flowers.
I
flowers,
did.
Give him flowers.
bouquets, roses,
I did.
everything.
I did.
Everything.
Give him my flower when I'm living. Bury me when I'm
There
dead.
you go.
It's old school.
There you
Singing
go.
Johnny Mathis songs for the
There you
man
go.
out here.
Yeah, and in this week's version of the Science Lab on the .com, I penned a thank you letter to Cooper Rush for a variety of reasons, but the main thing is he always kept his humility. He never took the bait. He never bought into the whole QB controversy thing, and he did exactly what the Cowboys needed him to do, what they paid him to do, step in as the starting quarterback if your QB1 is injured, and just don't lose the game. And 4 out of 5 games, he was able to achieve that. He had no interceptions before things kind of fell apart in Philadelphia. He didn't light up the scoreboard, but he didn't undercut the defense and the special teams in those in that span when he went 4-1. So, absolutely, like Clarence said, man, you got to be able to give somebody the flowers while they're still around. So, kudos to Cooper Rush and thank you for your service. But Batman is back.
And I guess piggybacking on that, since you brought up the noise, because I asked Dak about the noise, if it was motivating.
Yeah, you were pushing that one hard today. You and Jeff Cole from Fox Sports.
Jeff Cole. You got to ask Dak. I ain't worried about the teammates, but he's heard the stuff, and he was pointing. It's like that doesn't motivate me. He's had people that doubt him all his life, but we all know deep down.
This is Chip.
He's a competitor.
This added the embers on that fire that was already there, and then you got to think of how he played in week 1. All that's motivating. He wants to make up for all of that. Certainly. He's comfortable in his own skin. He knows who he is. But, like Michael Jordan took chips to the grave, okay? Took chips to the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's what makes you who you are. So, yeah, some of that stuff I know his brother, it got into his brother. And if it got to his brother, it got to him.
I think, I believe, I agree with that. I do think Dak is one of the competitors that is mostly self-motivated. But, again, keyword is a competitor, right?
Sure.
So he wants to prove his detractors and his haters and just anyone he feels like is doubting or underrating him. There's an aspect of it. And that's what comes from greatness. You talk about, Michael Jordan and the Tom Brady's of the world and the Aaron Rodgers of the world and just those types of competitors where mostly they're self-driven because they loathe losing more than they like winning. But there's that aspect of it where it's like, watch this. Right.
Look, I get it. I get people asking the questions because, yes, there is an element of people that are just down on Dak Prescott. But I remember there was an element of people who were not sold on Troy Aikman. They're like, you know what, hey, man, you play in the Pac-10. You never took him to the Rose Bowl. That was Rodney Peete at USC. And then, hey, Jimmy brings in his guy. Jimmy starts Steve Berline in the playoff game against the Lions. He went through it. Tony Romo, even to the end. This comes with this job, in my opinion.
Especially when you don't have.
That's why Zeke pointed at the star.
Well, and especially when you don't have ring coverage.
Sure.
Troy at the end got, you got some
At
ring.
the end.
Yeah,
Right.
well, not the end. It was.
I mean, yeah, in the middle.
It wasn't at the end.
Closer to the front.
Okay.
Closer to the
Manning.
front.
Hey, look, but you got
It's closer to
you
the
got
front.
there's going to be because Tony got it throughout his career, and so when you don't win and you do have those things, there's always going to be people question it. You need some success to get the benefit of the doubt, and so that's going to come with it.
Man, could you imagine if social media was around when Troy went? What was it, 1-11 as a starter in his?
Yeah, but that whole team.
No,
was bad.
he went. Oh, he didn't win a game.
He didn't
That was
win. You're right.
Not Berlin. That was Walsh. Walsh won the game
you're
in
right.
Washington. But
Could you imagine?
there's certain brands that there's an expectation. When Alex Rodriguez was playing in New York, you had. I don't know about you, remember, but I heard consistent Yankee fans like, he's not a real Yankee. He hadn't won anything.
Oh, absolutely.
And even when he won, they were like, you're really a Yankee. So the Yankees, you're going to get that. The Montreal Canadiens, you're going to get it. The Lakers, that's a team where you're going to get
Fact.
it. North Carolina basketball, you're going to get it. There's going to be certain brands where they have a level,
North
and if you
Carolina
don't get
basketball.
there.
Sorry.
You heard me. You heard it.
Okay.
Yeah, you wearing North Carolina basketball shoes. So
I
there's
most certainly am
brands.
not.
There are
Is that how you feel,
brands.
John?
Speaking of North
Most
Carolina,
certainly
it's
not.
going to be Carolina night at LB's. Carolina night at LB's tonight.
Yeah, don't get the
Oh,
Dookie started.
that's right. So every
Stay with
Thursday,
that team, they get better recruits. But
So don't
it is
get the
what it
Dookie
is.
every
started.
Thursday, if you're going to endure, make yourself watch Thursday Night Football. At least enjoy this bad football with some good food at LB's, some cigars. Clarence Hill as he brings out some stuff. I was out there when you had Dak Prescott and Tad out there. That was a good little show. But tonight you got Greg Ellis.
And Jesse. No, I Holly.
No Al Holly.
Okay.
It's like Patrick. No, did you get it from Jesse? I just need to know.
Which
Which y'all came first?
The chicken or the egg? The chicken or the egg. I guess whichever one of us is older, that's who's came first.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So
Chicken or the egg.
get your drink, smoke, and eat on with Clarence tonight at LB's. So there you go. John, I'm waiting on John to show up one time, man.
Okay. I
gonna
didn't know
get
I was
John.
invited.
Everyone's invited. It's
I've
public.
never been invited.
John, you can come to the cookout. What are we talking about?
You've never once told me to.
Like catfish?
That I was invited. Also, Zeke already spoke for me on this.
You like catfish?
It's in Arlington, man.
It's an
That
Arlington.
drive.
It's like, listen. That's what I was asking CD about.
One of us.
Yeah, I was asking CD about because CD went to see the Kobe Court in Fort Worth yesterday.
It was at Hope Farm.
Hope Farm, yeah. He
It was
went
Hope Farm on Tuesday. I was out there.
It's Tuesday. I'm sorry.
Yeah, give some more background on that because I don't think everybody knows what that is.
Thanks for watching. Okay.
You give it to him.
So, East Fort Worth is where Hope Farm is. It's an after-school boys program for fatherless boys. And two black police officers many years ago felt that they needed to get to kids before they were teenagers. By the time they're teenagers, it's too late. We got to get to these kids in elementary school. And statistics show that if you're a child and you're not reading by third grade, you basically, the chances of you being incarcerated go way up. And so this is a basketball court that they have on site for the kids. And I think the last time it got dedicated was Mark Aguirre was the person doing it. So it tells you how long ago it was. Right. And so CeeDee Lamb comes out there with body armor and the Kobe and Gianna Foundation. They redo the court, man. And I have helped work with the charity for 15 years. And we've been talking about it. I had sent stuff up to Whitney and the Cowboys like, hey, look, can you guys send the rookie club out here one day? And I've shown them. They're like, yeah. And anyway, nothing ever happened. And then CeeDee Lamb is here. And literally, man, the kids hugging him, faces lighting up. Yeah. You know, these are kids, man, who it's some tough circumstances. Just 2 blocks over, there was some folks killed 2 weeks ago. In fact, when they were working on the court, one of the guys said from body armor, one of the guys found a bullet casing over there. So this is a tough part of Fort Worth where these kids have come through this program, graduated high schools, colleges, after school. John, you got to bring your report card for your teacher.
It's beautiful.
They have to sit around here. The kids walk up to you. Hi, my name is Jim. They look you right in the eye. I mean, they are doing fantastic work with these kids, man. Fantastic work with these kids. And for CD to show there, man, because he didn't really understand everything until we were getting ready to do our interview, and I was telling him more. I was like, man, we haven't seen anybody like you. And one time, I bought a box of steaks. Because they have a beautiful woman who helps cook for the boys after school. They're boys. Everybody hungry. But they never had steak before. And so she's cooking a meal, and I'm like, I mean, I'm blessed and lucky. I mean, we go to Cowboy game, Jerry's serving us steaks up here. We're just medium. So, they cooked up that thing. So for CD to come there, they dedicate a basketball court. There's so many people over there, Hope Farm, Inc., doing I say, they're doing God's work,
That's
man.
beautiful.
And for him to show up, man, It warmed my heart, man. It warmed my heart that he was there, and I don't think he understands how big it was. Talked to Mac Engel over the Star Telegram, and he thought, you know what, man, it's Tuesday. They lost. He's probably not going to show. No, he showed. He showed.
And changed some lives in the process, whether he knows it or not.
And he really enjoyed it. But, I was just piggybacking on what we started was asking about that drive. And it was our drive.
Okay. So
asking about that drive. Because we're talking about the Zeke drive, the Machota drive. Yeah.
Literally, so I did the podcast, and I went from here and did the media match. We ended the podcast a little early Tuesday, so I left here, drove straight over.
Oh, you hit that traffic.
Yeah, no, I paid $22 on the toll to get over there so I could do the CD Lamb interview. Yeah, so what John is saying is correct. It's a minute, and this was Fort Worth, Arlington a little bit quicker, but you would do it to see Clarence, though. That's all I'm saying.
No, of course. And piggybacking on that, the same day, I drove the other way. I drove to this elementary school in El Dorado in Frisco because the Cowboys were doing this anti-bullying thing.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of seem like a bully, actually.
I was going to say, you're the wrong guy to show up at anti-bullying.
Stop it, I'm not a bully. Stop it.
Maybe he was showing up as the
just to
stop hating.
Right.
So
This is
I
what
went
not
to
to
this
become.
anti-bullying
This is
thing, but I went there with a specific person. Like y'all were going to get, I knew about that, but I said I'm going to go get somebody else. Kelvin Joseph was supposed to be there. So I went there to talk to Kelvin Joseph and see what he had to tell these kids about anti-bullying, considering everything that's going on in the last 6-7 months. Of course, he didn't go. He didn't show up. He had to lift or something or whatever else. But I was here while Mac was there.
Did anyone show up?
Yeah, no. Tyler, they had 8-9 guys. Most of the young guys, Tyler Biadasz and some other young guys. Everson Wild was there, and so different guys. And Matt Overton was there. I mean, just different guys were there. But I saw Whitney had sent that email out, and Kelvin was on the list. So I said, let me see what Kelvin got to say at this event and how he's going to talk to these kids. So. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I tried.
That's a lot of gas.
I'm just glad we got that on the podcast because that really moved the needle there. Thank you, Clarence.
I don't know why. I mean, we're talking about going to events on Tuesday. I came out here. He went there. I mean, cool. I don't understand why that's not. That's a bad thing.
One of them had a player there. The other one didn't.
No, they did have players there.
Okay.
Kelvin didn't show up, but I mean, we've been actually. Kelvin has not talked to us.
I told a story of inspiration.
I know. That's why I was like, where is this going, Clarence?
I mean, I was trying to tell a redemption story though. What I'm pinning, I was trying to write. I was giving.
All right, where's the redemption part?
Well, he may have a redemption if we ever get to talk to him. The problem we have not talked to him since ever.
No, we've talked to him before. We just haven't talked to him this season.
You know what I mean? Since the season, they didn't make him available in training camp, and he's not been available, since the start of the season.
So how does that work? You guys are the writers, and there's the Pro Football Writers Association.
Yes, he's gonna get turned in if he don't show up.
Okay, so you.
Yeah, explain that, Clarence.
Yeah.
2.5. No, the players are obligated by contract to be in the locker room, and they don't get in the locker room, they be turned into the league for not meeting their responsibilities, and they can incur a fine up to $2,500, $25,000, something like that.
Yeah, it's in the low to mid 20s, and I mean, you're talking to one of the area leaders in PFWA, and prior to me joining up with the organization, I longtime member of PFWA. So yeah, he's right. Players have to be made available or
make themselves available.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not really asking for a ton. I mean, it's not like you have to talk multiple times per week for 10, 15 minutes. I mean, it's just once a week for 5 or 6 minutes.
And the problem is that like a lot of guys don't come in there or whatever else, and it wouldn't be a big deal, but we've requested, and he's not been there, so that's when it gets. I mean, because hell, Leighton hadn't been there for weeks. He came. They told him about it. He came another day. You know, there are a lot of guys who don't come in there a lot. Jason Peterson hadn't been there for a few weeks before he came in last week before the Philly game. You know.
I remember a certain media member had a thing for Tyron Smith for a minute.
Yeah.
For not talking. So,
right. So it's like just be available, and so because sometimes we need to talk to you. I mean, I think as a time veterans, who should speak for the offensive line if not the 8-time Pro Bowler? In his heyday.
Okay.
The same guy should have to talk all the time.
Look, I understand. Especially in the TV
But
world.
if you're an IR, you don't have to talk, correct?
We're not talking about now, sir.
I'm just asking.
You just stay behind
Jesus.
the screens.
Damn. He made a good point.
But we were not talking about now. We were just talking in general. But I appreciate the input.
Let's have a conversation next about C.D. Lamb and him
Damn,
on the
Clarence.
practice report. That's Clarence Hill, who went to the anti-bullying.
Yeah.
And then
Learned a lot
bullied.
there.
I went to write, not to learn.
Giving the kids tips. Patrik Walker.
I kid because I care.
John
It's
Machota.
fun. This is fun.
Don't bully me back
I'm
over
having
here,
a
okay?
blast.
Love you.
I'm Newy Scruggs. It's a media
Rookie. That's
mash.
what we call you, rookie.
King of the hazers, boy. King of the
is,
hazers.
boy.
This man
King of
been-
the hazers right there.
This man been working here 20 years. They still call him rookie.
What's DallasCowboys.com radio?
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
When you build, you start with the foundation. And home ownership is a foundation of a stable future. The Bank of America Community Home Ownership Commitment has helped over 34,000 people lay the groundwork so far, with up to $10,000 towards your down payment or 3% of the purchase price, whichever is less. The satisfaction of owning your own place can become a reality. Visit bankofamerica.com/homeowner to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A. Equal Housing Lender. Credit and collateral is subject to approval. Restrictions apply. This is not a commitment to lend.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field. United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf. For winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more. Back to Media Mash.
Media Mash. Thursday. Cowboys, Lions, AT&T Stadium, high noon. Discussing the matchup with John Machota, The Athletic, Patrik Walker, DallasCowboys.com. He is Clarence Hill of the Star Telegram. I'm merely Newy Scruggs, just trying to get information from
The new dog.
C.D. Lamb yesterday was on the practice report. Today says he's all good, expects to play. How should we look into this, John?
Yeah, the practice report just came out, and he was upgraded to full today, so I think he's fine. He tweaked his hip in practice last Thursday, and so there was some concern going into the game about his availability. So on Friday, they didn't have him do anything. And he even said after the game that he was a little nervous when the game started. And as the game went on, adrenaline kicks in, things like that, and he ended up being fine. But he'll be a full go. That's the thing. You get Dak back, you're going to have C.D. Lamb. You have Michael Gallup. Obviously, Dak didn't have that in the season opener. Yeah. But even with that, I think everyone should expect at least a little bit of rust there. Mike McCarthy keeps talking about the timing and things like that. To not have played for several weeks and then just to get back out there, I don't know that it's going to be absolutely perfect right away. Fortunately for the Cowboys, it probably doesn't need to be against this opponent.
What about that Tampa Bay game last year? There was no rust.
Oh, week one. No preseason snaps. Came in, just started firing 400-plus yards.
You think this is the same offense?
I think this defense is worse.
Okay.
This Lions defense can't stop a nosebleed.
So you think they're going to be throwing it that much?
I don't know. I'm just saying that.
Well, you're throwing it out there. I want to know.
No,
Let me know.
But we're talking about relatively. Obviously, I'm not challenging you. I'm saying that I don't know how much rust there will be because we've seen him come out and have a good game, when he hasn't played. And this Lions defense is hot garbage. I mean, they can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. Certainly, I don't think that they're going to throw the ball over the park, but that's not going to be the game plan. That was the game plan in Tampa.
Right.
But certainly, I think that he's going to look a whole lot better than he did against Tampa Bay this year. And the offense may not be the same, but I think the offense is better than it was week one. And him coming back in it with Michael Gallup and Tyler Smith being better and more comfortable, I think they have a chance to look good, and he put out a good showing. If there's a team to come back on and look good and have a good showing, it's this Lions defense.
Yeah. How many passes are too much in this game for Dak?
35. I think 27 to 30 should be topped off. I don't think it needs to go any north of that.
I'm with you.
And see, one thing that why Cooper didn't throw the ball a lot, which other than they wanted to run the ball, they didn't have many plays because they kept going 3 and out. They didn't have the ball a lot. Even some of the wins when they got the turnovers and short fields. If they can convert third downs, they may have a lot of plays where you can run it 30 times and throw it 30 times. They want 60 plays, and they want to be balanced. That's what Mike McCarthy talked about today. Everybody said just lean on the run. He wants a balanced football. He's not saying I want to go out there and only run the ball and only pass it on third down.
You say you want balance, but show me a coach that's running the ball really well that's like, no, hold on. We're getting 6 yards of carry on these runs. Let's work it into that pass game. Let's get Dak back in a rhythm. They're going to be like, no, let's run it 20 more times and run them out the building, especially with this defense.
All of that. But it's not realistic. They're going to get 6 yards of carry. But I'm just saying that if you convert third downs, in which they haven't done.
This is the worst rushing defense.
You extend drives and you get more offensive reps.
They have not had the offensive reps.
This is the worst rushing defense in the league.
All right, exactly.
They're going to run the ball.
And you know what? And they're also going to be smart because they know Detroit's going to play the run and they're going to use the play action pass. I mean, they're going to do both. They understand that their third down passing game has not been good. Their third down converted. They also are going to want to get Dak some reps. They're not going to sit. They want him to get that rust out against this team.
I just like to point out that the balance in the offense thing. We hear that a lot, and I'm telling you, when the running game's working, nobody ever wants to go against the run. My other favorite thing, Cowboys-wise, Rod Marinelli and guys would talk about how, you want to have this rotation up front, rotate all these guys in. Well, you don't say that when you have DeMarcus Ware. No one's rotating him out, and you don't say that now that you have Micah Parsons. There's no rotation of guys.
No, you're not
when
rotating
you have that
guy, but you're rotating the other guys, and I think that they've done a good job of rotating the defensive line. That's
right, but I'm talking about when Rod Marinelli was here. There was a level of play on the defensive line where they didn't really have anybody playing on that level. There were times where DeMarcus Lawrence was injured, and we would be told constantly about how, no, it's better just 4 in and 4 out. I'm like, no, it's not. It's better to have dogs out there. Well, and that's all I'm just saying. There's just some things that you hear all the time that you're just like, is that really true?
But the 90s defense, which is what this is like, they rotated the defensive line.
Charles Haley played a lot, but there were times when you'd see a Tolbert go out of defensive end.
No, but there's a defensive tackles. They had Tolbert, they had Jeff Cope, they had a lot of Jimmy
Tony
Jones.
Casillas,
they had Tony. They had a lot of guys rotating. And that's the best thing about this defensive line is you can rotate those guys. And yes, you're going to keep Mike on the field as much as possible, but the rest of the guys, run them through, keep them fresh, because rushing the passer is the most taxing thing they do, and you want to keep them fresh. And so I think that's what they do best.
And I don't think there's anything that the Detroit Lions do well enough that you could say this is what they do best. They are not good at the run. They're not good at stopping the pass. They're not good at taking the ball away. Only 2 interceptions.
Now, they have a good run game if Smith.
Defensively for the Lions, they only have 2 interceptions on the season through their first 5 games. They've only forced 2 fumbles. I can't point at anything they do well. The only thing I can then look back at it from an analyst standpoint and say, okay, well, as groups, D-line, linebacker core, secondary, they don't do anything well. Okay, let's focus on players. Aiden Hutchinson, right?
Yeah, one good game.
Fair. But what I'm saying is there anyone you can start kidding?
Nobody that's
that's the only person that you worry about.
So that's what I'm saying. Aiden Hutchinson, you're not worried about Jeff Okudah, right? And then their injury report, they have guys, they're coming off of a bye week and still have guys who aren't practicing, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to pressure consistently. So
they're going to bite kneecaps, man.
Yeah,
you're not.
I love Dan. We all love Dan.
We all love, they bite
Dan.
kneecaps.
But the Cowboys are going to lean heavily on the run. And I'm right there with you, John. I think it's a situation where, between Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, they touch the ball 30 times. And then if Dak gets 25 to 30, I'd cap his throws at 30. You win this game, and you probably win it pretty handily.
One other thing I was going to say about their defense is, and why this is good for Dak Prescott to be coming back in this game, only 7 sacks on the season. 5 of them came in that Washington game, which is their only win, and that's when Aiden Hutchinson had 3. Only 7 sacks. It's the lowest in the league, and their defense is allowing opposing quarterbacks to have a passer rating of 100. So, I mean, it's the perfect game for him to come back.
And then for those that are wondering, this might be a trap game because we're not saying to disrespect the Lions. Everyone at this level deserves respect. What we're saying is, objectively speaking, you should be able to run all over this team. Yeah. That's going to set up the possibility to pass all over this team. And I don't see how it could be a trap game anyway. And Kyle Yeomans in Talking Cowboys this morning, he made an excellent point, or an excellent question he posed. He said, is this, dissimilar from the Cowboys versus the Broncos last season? Well, yeah, it is, because they were coming off of a 6-game win streak, winning in overtime at Gillette Stadium, winning against the Minnesota Vikings, and they were kind of riding high. And then here come the Broncos, and they're like, we can run through these guys. But Fangio's defense was actually nowhere near as abysmal as Glenn's defense in Detroit, and the Cowboys are coming off.
The blueprint.
No, blueprints are all well and good, but if that person,
Jay-Z went in the lab.
Yeah, the blueprint is great, but you got to have the tools to do it. You got to have the tools to do it. So speaking of blueprint, really quickly, and I'll put this to the panel, when you look at what Bill Belichick was able to do against the Lions and shutting them down completely offensively, and credit to the Lions offense, because careful, they can put up some points if your defense allows. But seeing the blueprint that Bill Belichick put forward, Dan Quinn actually has the personnel set to re-execute that against this team. So I like what Anthony Barr said, in that they're coming off a bye week. There will be some unscouted looks, but if the Cowboys defense plays lights out again and the Cowboys offense continues to run the ball, those unscouted looks aren't going to save you for 60 minutes of football.
Yeah, first of all, I think the notion it's a trap game or whatever else is a media-generated thing.
Fair. I agree.
No one in the locker room thinks it's a trap game. They're coming off a loss. They're still mad about getting beat. They know they have things to work on.
It's Shark Week, Clarence.
Yeah,
it's Shark Week.
All of that. That's a media generated thing. But yeah, they know they got to improve. They know they got to keep winning to stay with the Eagles. Ain't no way they looking over the Lions. And it's Dak's coming back. I mean, they want to play well. This is the game. Everybody feels good.
You sound like you feel really good.
I'm good. I need a 5-hour energy, but I'm good. I'm good. I need some food. I haven't had lunch.
Well,
I didn't get to eat meat casino like you.
I mean, sorry. I apologize. You were welcome.
But I get hyped. I'm hyped. I get hyped.
Okay.
John, he'll treat you to catfish at Ella B's if you go.
Come on,
it's pretty good.
I don't eat seafood.
Oh no!
Catfish ain't seafood. Catfish is not seafood.
Chicken wings?
I can do that.
Okay.
It's not seafood. Catfish ain't seafood.
Y'all disrespecting seafood. I can't. Oh, don't tap
Catfish
me.
I didn't say anything
seafood.
negative, but I just don't eat it.
He don't eat it.
Oh, is that a dietary choice? Is that what?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Okay, fair.
It's not a dietary choice. It's like
Feel like
I don't like
ketchup
fish.
is awful.
I don't like fish, but I like catfish.
Okay.
But the wings are good.
But I'll say this: I never.
And they got good oxtails too. You want to try that?
I never eat fish, but I'll eat catfish, and their catfish is good. So,
they got oxtails and greens.
I'm all on that.
But I'm telling you, the wings are good. The wings are good. Clarence, get him a cigar
and some oxtails.
And you won't be mad watching bad football. That's the thing. You won't be mad watching that bad football.
You just don't watch it. That's what I've done the last few
Well,
Thursday nights.
It's
real
on.
easy.
It's on behind. Clarence is over there doing his thing. So
there's some good baseball on today. It's actually rather probably watch that.
See, man, we're trying to stay away from baseball.
We're going to watch the Lakers and the Clippers.
We're trying to watch the baseball. We're trying to stay away from the baseball.
What's the Lakers and the
morning.
I'm still watching.
Okay, hold up. You
watching.
think I feel bad for? They're the defending World Series champion. The Detroit Tigers have not won a World Series since 1984. I still watch baseball. Okay,
we're not, we're not asking for pity. We get it.
I mean, seriously,
we couldn't repeat.
This man is an Atlanta Braves fan. and a Georgia Bulldogs fan. Life is great for him.
At the moment, I had 2 droughts in.
I was gonna say, man,
I had 2 droughts in last year.
It took some tough times.
I was going to say, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't position it.
I'm just saying, but where it's sitting right now,
don't position it as we're always there. We're not all.
No, but it seems pretty good.
I think he's still mad at Devontae Smith. You know, I think he's still mad at him. So
we were talking about oxtails and wings, right? Okay, let's talk about that because
Okay.
and then Clarence took Arch from us, so it's okay.
Arch from who?
Your horns. They took Arch from Athens. No hard feelings.
We'll see.
We'll see him. You saw him pause. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know.
I do know, but I just wasn't even thinking about. He was never going to Georgia. He was coming to Texas.
Yes, sir. We'll see him soon. Shouts out to Arch.
Coming to Texas.
Have fun, kid.
Clarence Hill,
Hug him.
Patrik Walker, John Machota. Let's get our second break right here on the Media Mash on Newy Scruggs. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field. United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
This week! Did you get to work on time?
Yeah, but I just realized it's Sunday.
Little Sweet says head on home. Dr. Pepper's on its way. So sweet, unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you invest your nest egg in an NFT?
Yeah, and I don't even know what that is.
It's a non-fungible token. Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
When you build, you start with the foundation. And home ownership is a foundation of a stable future. The Bank of America Community Homeownership Commitment has helped over 34,000 people lay the groundwork so far, with up to $10,000 towards your down payment or 3% of the purchase price, whichever is less. The satisfaction of owning your own place can become a reality. Visit bankofamerica.com/homeowner to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A. Equal Housing Lender. Credit and collateral is subject to approval. Restrictions apply. This is not a commitment to lend.
Back to Media Mash.
Media Mash here on Thursday. It's the final Media Mash of the week. Cowboys, Lions, Sunday noon game. So get your breakfast on the media for all the media. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm not gonna be there on time, man.
I'll tell you what. That last home game, they had chicken and waffles. I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Not that AT&T Stadium press box. I mean, don't take my word for it because I guess I could be biased, but when you talk to other writers from other teams, they always point out how great it is. Yeah,
it's the best period. But I haven't had their chicken and waffles up there. How was it?
I thought it was good.
It was pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
They don't do food wrong up there.
Yeah, it didn't disappoint.
George don't do food wrong.
No, so I hadn't had it.
George Wasa. Shout out to George Wasa.
I'm trying to think now if there is something up there that's like.
It's 9:00 for me to have to get over there, so I don't want to.
Yeah. That's too early for you?
Wakey. For the Lions, yeah, it's too early.
Who would it have to be for you to be there? Probably not anybody that would be playing at noon.
The Eagles surprisingly weren't bad this past Sunday. Had prime rib and some salmon.
And?
Oh, I'm talking about their post game.
I was going to say. I was going to say, you sure about that?
I'm talking about before the game. I ain't talking about post game. Okay. Did you see them chocolate covered bananas after the game?
There was some scraps.
What is going on? The chocolate covered bananas. You weren't there after the game,
fellas. You could have been at FedEx. Okay,
you weren't there after the game.
I agree with you.
Yeah, was already down.
You could have been at FedEx.
Y'all leave.
I think we had to go down.
Yeah, that's a post game food.
But what you said is the one. I saw the picture. For sure.
Yes,
that is the one.
Yeah, I was out on that.
What should the plan be?
I saw that tweet.
I asked Zeke, do you think they should continue to go run? Keep running the ball, and he said yes.
Of course he's going to say yes. He wants the ball.
I would dare to say when he gets the ball, they win. I would too if I'm him.
Disagree.
I mean, if you know, if you were playing back, if you've been in the microwave Johnson, if you give me the ball, I'm gonna heat it up, we'll win.
CD said Dak was throwing that thing.
Okay, what's he supposed to say?
He was throwing that thing. Dak said he was throwing that thing, and he said we walked out with Dak talking about third down. We got to throw the ball.
I mean, what 88 have you seen that didn't say throw me the ball? Okay.
Right.
It comes with the jersey.
But the thing about Zeke that I really liked about last week's game is that he got lathered up. That was some vintage Zeke running the ball with some juice, some power, and some determination. You know, he ran with authority last week.
Yeah, that 14-yard touchdown run, that was
nice. Yeah, because he usually don't usually run by folks to get to the end zone.
But and also
he went wide. Like, why you go up the field? He didn't run over. Yeah. He went around them.
Right. And what was also on display in that play is just how well Terrence Steele has been playing. I mean, he's acquitted himself very nicely since that very rough start in Week 1 with the pre-snap penalties. He on that particular play, he walked Fletcher Cox right out of VIP, and Zeke did the rest. So. The offensive line is, in fact, playing beyond their years, be it, Connor McGovern, Tyler Smith, Terrence Steele. They're doing some things.
You letting it rip? What are you doing?
At the end of the day, I really don't care as long as you just take care of the ball. So that's probably your better chances running the ball by doing that. But I just look at the rest of this NFC and really the NFL in general outside of really Buffalo and Kansas City. And I just think this team's defense is just so good with what they got right now, as long as everyone stays relatively healthy, that as long as you don't turn over the ball, I think you're fine. I mean, you look at that game against Philadelphia, you're playing in one of the toughest environments. You're playing against what's probably the best team in the NFC right now. You don't have your quarterback. And if you just turn the ball over twice, you probably still win that game.
So
but I mean, 3 turnovers, actually 4 if you talk about the fourth down they didn't get. I don't know. To me, it stands out because I'm so used to watching this team have to score points because the team's built around the offense. And you have this defense now where it's like, just take care of the ball and everything else will take care of itself.
That's a fact.
You guys had mentioned, I don't know if it was you, somebody mentioned James Washington yesterday.
Yeah.
To Mike McCarthy.
He just recently bought 8 horses. How many players have you talked to in the locker room that can say they do things like that?
CeeDee Lamb.
I don't know if he's bought 8 horses recently, but...
My boy James Washington is a true cowboy.
He absolutely
got a farm
is.
back home. I mean,
he absolutely is.
He has everything on that farm. I really wanted to go and do a story on the farm one day if I can, get down there. But yeah, he's a true farm.
Have you ever rode a horse before?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've never have. Have you?
You've never ridden a horse?
No.
Really?
No, man.
You've never ridden a horse either?
No. It was actually a thing I wanted to do when I was a kid because where we lived, it was only about a mile away from a horse farm. So we go and look at the horses, but we never actually got up and on one.
Michael Gallup has horses as well.
Okay. Yeah, James was talking about that for a while, but he the bigger thing, the thing that matters, I think, most to the listeners is that he seems like he's getting close. The thing is with him is he can run straight line, ready to go on Sunday, but it's the cutting. It's he had to. Probably somewhat similar to the Dak situation with his hand, but except for it's with his foot. He had a screw and a plate put in there. And so it's the pushing off of that. It's the getting the east and west that he still, there's a little bit of confidence you have to build up with that as well, too. So he's not sitting there saying what day he's going to be back or what game, but it seems like he's getting closer. And he was part of that group that caught passes from Dak before the game in Philly. He wasn't running routes, but he was out there catching passes. So I don't think he's that far away. We saw him out there again today in
It'll
Cords.
be after the bye.
It's the final hurdle.
Yeah.
It's the final hurdle.
Yeah, it'll be after the bye.
So CeeDee Lamb is walking and he's talking, and then I see a player walking by, and I look, and it's Jalen Tolbert. I was like, dude, second take, oh, yeah, you, Jalen Tolbert.
Surprising.
What you finna say?
What
do you want to know?
What's your question?
What do you want to know? You just can't throw a name out there. What do you want to know? What are you asking?
When's he going to play?
Yeah.
He played last week.
He's special teams.
Yeah, but you played last week. Offense and being a factor.
He played for Simi last week.
You got to be more specific.
When are we going to see the guy who we thought we were going to see on draft day?
That ship was sailed.
That we saw all Oxnard.
I don't know if it's completely
It's not sailed. It's way too early.
When are we going to see this man?
I'm not talking
about.
Sailed
to what? Like how long?
You mean you think this is more or less not a true red shirt?
Yeah, I think Dak called.
I think he called Simi too. I remember Simi when he called Simi, and Simi said Dak said we're gonna tear up the league.
Yeah,
I ain't seen nothing from Simi since.
What's he supposed to
Well,
say?
you haven't seen anything from Dak
What's Dak supposed to say?
because Dak's been out for week 1.
Simi. I'm talking about going back to Simi. No,
I'm saying I remember
Simi's
Dak
rookie
said,
year.
Yeah, Simi's rookie year.
Simi's rookie year. Simi told us that after the draft, we get all the great draft phone calls after the draft, and Simi told us Dak said, "Let's go tear up the league." That was when Dak was hurt. I'm just saying, we saw nothing.
Yeah. It is kind of interesting that it hasn't worked out.
Was that your Bernie Mac voice?
Nothing. Because I guess you go back to,
There'll be trouble.
They obviously hit on Dez. They obviously hit
first
on
round pick
Terrence Williams. Hold on, I'm
Third
not
round
done.
pick.
And they hit on Michael Gallup. And so you're thinking,
third round pick.
Yeah. So you're thinking, okay, probably get something out of another third round pick, especially with when he rookie minicamp and all that. I thought for sure. And I don't know, especially with the issues they've had at receiver, it is interesting that he hasn't gotten any opportunity.
Well, I'll say
this. He had a setback because he had an injury in minicamp.
And then special teams.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we want to see him at receiver. We were told he's going to have an immediate impact at receiver.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with Gallup out. That's what we were told. It had nothing to do with this special team stuff. He is not taking that step forward at receiver.
I think that the biggest test for Jalen Tolbert won't even come as a rookie. It'll probably come in 2023 if Noah Brown ends up getting the Cedric Wilson type situation, where Cedric Wilson winning the free agency, riding the high, got a big bag. Noah Wilson is on the trajectory right now. You don't think Noah's getting a big bag?
No.
Watch that TV.
We'll revisit this.
We can revisit this how we want to. We can put 20 spot on it. We can put a 20 spot on it right now.
Are you saying now that Dak's back, Dennis Houston is going to take those reps?
I'm not saying he's going to get reps. I'm saying he's not going to get no big bag.
Revenge tour for Dennis Houston. Dak's back.
How do we get to Dennis Houston? I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for them 4 catches with 7 yards and a touchdown.
Don't do me like that, sir.
Listen.
I knew when you mentioned Dennis Houston, I was like, this is not going to be good. I don't know why you did this.
Listen, I love Noah Brown's story.
John, I dropped it in the war. I want to see if he was going to take it.
I love Noah Brown's story, but come on, not no big bag.
So let me.
How is he dissimilar from Cedric? As far as the trajectory of what might be their final year.
I think he.
Did you see all of them? Did you see the plays Cedric made? Third down conversion.
I'm asking your take on it.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Cedric
there wasn't a bigger supporter of Ced, and I mean from
Cedric
day one than me. But I'm curious.
Was a much better. I mean, yeah, he was a better. He was a better receiver.
Let's go around the room here.
A better arm.
And he could throw the ball.
Give me one player that you need to see more from after 6 games. One player you need to see more from after 6 games. We'll start with you, Patrik.
Oh, I got to see more from after 6 games. You know what? I got to see more from Tolbert. No, I got to see more from Dalton Schultz. Obviously, he's battled some injury with the PCL sprain. He's missed 2 of the last 3 games, but he was back in practice on yesterday. The walkthrough listed as full. He was back again today. We'll see if he gets on the field. I want to say he's trending that way, but he was trending toward being on the field last week, and even Jerry Jones said it was a surprise that he ended up on the inactive. So if Schultz is on the field, need more from him, especially this is a franchise tag season for him. You're trying to either equal or better the value that you had coming into the season, going into free agency.
Too late.
You got the young guns behind you, Ferguson and Hendershot.
Ship sail.
Hold on. But to that point, he's asking me who I need to see more from. And it's obviously, for me, it's going to be Dalton Schultz. Like I said, you got 2 young horses behind you who have shown they can make an impact. You're in a franchise tag season. You want your bag, go get your bag. Be it with the Cowboys or somewhere else, might just be somewhere else.
Clarence, who you got?
Bag gone.
You think nobody's getting the bag?
No. Who you got? I think you need to do something to get the bag. That's all I'm saying.
Who's your player?
I would like to see Jason Peters. I want to see what the fuss is about. I want to see more from Jason Peters, and if Connor McGovern holds him off, then that's great. But I want to see more from Jason Peters, and I got a couple of guys. I want to see more from Michael Gallup.
Oh, that's just good. I just need a guy, just one guy. Machota, who you got? Give me one guy.
Gallup is a good one for sure. Just because, going into the game last Sunday night, I thought that he would be targeted more than we've seen him. And there were some opportunities there, but obviously it wasn't a great game for Cooper Rush. So, but yeah, Michael Gallup has to be a bigger part. They can't just getting it done with CeeDee Lamb won't be enough. They need another receiver to step up there. I don't know. Jaron Kearse too. He's coming back from the injury. They seem to be in a good spot with Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, and now that Kearse is working his way back in there. I think he'll get back to what he was last year, and as long as that happens, I think that takes care of everything on the back end.
All right, last media mash of the week. Give me the Cowboys to win this one. No shocker at all, but give me the Cowboys to win this one 26-14 over Detroit.
28-10.
28-10?
27-10, Cowboys.
27-10. You got 28-10. What you got here? Machota?
I'll go 31-17.
31-17. And maybe Turpin scores that touchdown if
I mean, he'd be a good. Oh, sorry.
It's time for his mids.
I'm sorry. It's a daily alarm. I just keep
for what?
For his mids.
Yes.
He's got to get that 5-hour energy. He's like, if I set this up, this one I get my 5-hour energy. That's a good one though, Newy. No, Turpin continues to show signs that one's got to be. You'd like to see him step up a little bit more and maybe.
Don't let the turf monster get him.
Yeah, and then the other thing,
Kelvin Joseph.
Well,
that was I don't know if that was a holding penalty.
I thought you were going to go ask him at the bullying camp.
I was.
No, you weren't.
That's how I was going to lead it. Man, they messed over you.
Smooth.
Now, what happened?
He was not going to ask about that at all.
Not in the least.
I was going to say. Now, what did you do last summer?
Why is that funny?
So mean.
Thursday night game.
It's a movie.
What did you do last summer?
What you did
All right,
last summer.
Thursday we got New Orleans and Arizona. Cardinals 2.5-point favorite. Who you got, John?
I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
DeAndre Hopkins goes off. First game back.
Give me a score.
28-10.
I'm taking Arizona. Close game. 23-21. Cardinals win at home over the Saints.
Hopkins, chip on the shoulder. Kyler's number one target. Give me Cardinals 24-20.
Chill.
Our friend Andy Dalton has the longest losing streak in prime time since 1970. He lost his last 5 primetime games by 17 or more points.
Well, it's got to stop somewhere.
So you're picking Saints then? This feels like a setup.
No, it's not a setup. It's not a setup.
Chill's going with the red rifle.
I'm going with Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
Andy Dalton does not play well on
Can we
primetime.
get a number?
Saints not going to go marching in?
The Saints not going marching. I'm sorry. I can't.
There's going to be a final score in the game.
20-10. Arizona can't score, but yeah, 20-10.
All right, 20-10. So you go eat, get your drink on with Clarence and smoke cigars at Ella B's tonight. Patrik C. Walker, always appreciate having you here. Make sure you check his work out over DallasCowboys.com.
Stop putting the C in there,
Keep putting the C in there. He don't respect you.
Stop putting the C in there.
See why you got to say this. See the haze in the
Habitual line stepper. Habitual line stepper.
What are you talking about?
I
He said C.
That's fair.
John Machota, the athletic. I
You
gave
told
this
him
man
at the
a
start of the
free
show. The end of the show, he put a C in there.
I'm sorry.
It's love, Newy.
I mean, he got it from Jesse Holly,
It's
though.
love.
Final shot. Thank you, Clarence. This is Media Mash. We'll talk to you Tuesday.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?